Hello and welcome to the Huddle. I'm Nick DiMartino.
And I'm Nick Troiano.
Thanks for tuning into our Super Bowl edition of the show.
Man, I can't believe we're 1 week away from the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I can't believe it. What am I going to do for 7 months?
I don't know, man. It feels like just yesterday we were watching the Eagles-Falcons to start off the season.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know where the time went. All right, now let's talk about how these two teams got here in the first place. I'm going to start off with what transpired in the Superdome. Rams and Saints causes yet another major controversy in the world of NFL football, which I'm happy about because controversy is fun. Let's get two things out the way. Yes, the Saints clearly got screwed on that no call. It may have been the worst no call I've ever seen as a sports fan. And as a fan, you're not going to act rationally. I get it. That being said, how stupid do Saints fans have to be to not realize that their team completely blew the game? If I'm a Saints fan, who holds a greater share of the blame? Your own team, head coach, or the refs? A team that plays like that doesn't deserve to play in the Super Bowl, bad no call or not. Here's the reality. We all love to play the blame game. It's just the reality of life. But when you play the blame game, you take away from all the bad decisions you make. At home, the Saints had a total of 50 yards rushing. Todd Gurley gets injured, and to run the clock out, Sean Payton decides to pass on first down when all you need to do is run the clock out and kick a field goal. Drew Brees played like trash. Sean Payton pulled an Andy Reid and forgot how to clock manage. And to top it all off, the officiating was abysmal on both sides. The Rams have punched their ticket to the Super Bowl for the first time since 2001, defeating the Saints by a final score of 26-23. And no, they didn't get there all because of that one no call.
Although I do agree with everything you said, I just think the refs have to make that call. The Saints got themselves where they needed to be in a position to win the game. And I know one call doesn't decide the game, but
no, you're right.
It would have been a big moment in the game.
It was a terrible, terrible no call, especially if you had bet on the Saints.
Going off that, I think everyone was shocked that the Rams are playing in Super Bowl 53. The Saints were the team to beat, and I think the Saints having home field advantage throughout the playoffs almost seemed like it secured them a trip to the Super Bowl. The Rams definitely fell under the radar, but a team that also fell under the radar were the Patriots, who seemed like they had one of the worst teams on paper in the entire playoffs, especially on defense. But hey, maybe they'll find a way to get back to their 8 consecutive AFC Championship game. If you were a football fan, you couldn't have asked for a better matchup to decide who would represent the AFC in Super Bowl 53. It all went down at Arrowhead Stadium as young star Patrick Mahomes battled the GOAT, Tom Brady. The game lived up to the hype beforehand as Mahomes and Brady went at it. The Patriots opened up the scoring with a Sonny Michel rushing touchdown, putting them up 7-0 early. The offenses would then be shut down for the majority of the first half until Brady hit Philip Dorsett on a streak route to get them a 14-0 lead heading into the half. The Chiefs responded well to start the second, as Patty Mahomes found Travis Kelce for the team's first TD of the game to make it 14-7. The Pats would add a field goal with 4 minutes and 2 seconds left in the third to make it 17-7. The Chiefs then drove down the field quickly, which led to Mahomes finding Damian Williams on a screen pass to cut the lead to 17-14 Pats. The fourth quarter that would follow would be one for the books. Julian Edelman almost muffed a punt that would have resulted in the Chiefs' score, but it was decided that he did not make contact with the ball. The Chiefs would get the ball back, which resulted in a Mahomes to Damian Williams score once again, which gave the Chiefs a 21-17 lead. The Pats answered by converting a 4th and inches with little over 3 minutes left, that not only converted, but ended up in 6 as Sonny Michel gave the Pats a 24-21 lead. The back-and-forth action continued as Mahomes hit Sammy Watkins on a wheel route for a long game to the Pats' 1-yard line. Damian Williams ran it in to give the Chiefs the lead 28-24. The Pats would then drive down the field and finish the drive with a Rex Burkhead TD to take the lead 31-28 with 52 seconds left. This was Patty Mahomes' moment, his moment to go head-to-head with the GOAT. He drove his team down to tie the game 31-31 at the end of regulation. The Pats won the toss and got the ball first to start overtime. Brady would not let Mahomes see the ball as he hit Edelman and Gronk play after play. The game finished with a Rex Burkhead score as the Patriots won 37-31. Man, I had a lot to say after that game, but my main point that I want to talk about was if the Chiefs had won the toss and drove down the field and scored, I don't think anyone would be talking about the overtime rule. I think it's just because people didn't want to see the Patriots win,
It's clearly true. But also, how do you line up off sides is what I'd like to know.
That's true, too. But I think maybe they should switch it to the college overtime rules, especially for the playoffs. That would allow both teams to get the ball.
Yeah, it's more fun that way.
Give them an equal shot.
It's more fun that way.
Going off that, we've been talking about the present so much. Why not talk a little bit about the past? When we get back, we will look back at some of the most memorable games from Super Bowl Sundays as Hank takes us on a trip in time. Stay tuned. Welcome back to our Super Bowl edition of The Huddle. Once again, I'm Nick Troiano, and joining me today is Hank and Dictor. How are you doing today, Hank?
I'm doing excellent, T. I mean, the Super Bowl's this Sunday.
Wow, man. How much coffee did you have this morning?
I don't drink coffee anymore. It gives me heartburn. I just had a couple chicken wings for breakfast, and I'm saving the rest for this Sunday.
I think it's safe to say that you are really looking forward to this game.
Yeah, well, I mean, every time the Patriots are in it, we usually see a good game. But you know what? Even if this isn't a great game, I still get to pig out on those wings.
Of course you will. Of course you will. So how far back are we traveling today?
Well, T, we're actually going to make a few trips. We're going to do something that's totally different today.
Like what?
Instead of doing just one game, I'm going to rank my top 5 Super Bowls that I've ever watched. We're going to spice things up a little, just like the seasoning I put on my wings.
All right, Hank, let's relax with the wings and let's just start off with the 5th best Super Bowl in your opinion.
This is my segment. But yeah, for my 5th greatest Super Bowl I've ever watched, we're going to start off with one where a star was born. Rookie Tom Brady and the underdog Patriots would go up against the greatest show on turf, the St. Louis Rams led by Kurt Warner, Marshall Faulk, Isaac Bruce, and Torrey Holt. What kind of defense was going to stop that team? Well, apparently the Patriots had an answer for them, at least for the first 3 quarters. They raced out to a 17-3 lead, but the Rams would quickly bounce back, and they would tie the game with 1 minute and 48 seconds left. But luckily, the Patriots had cool and calm and collected Tom Brady. He would lead them on a game-winning drive, all capped off by a 48-yard field goal by Adam Vinatieri at the last second to give the Patriots a victory by the final score of 20-17.
And that was the first of Tom Brady's many late-game heroics and the first of his one of 6 Super Bowls. That was a great way for him to start off his career of being a clutch quarterback that he is.
Oh, it sure was. And you know what? For the next game, I'm going to do another one of those clutch Super Bowl wins that Tom Brady had.
Hit me with it. Let's go.
This one just so happened to be another great one. It was the Legion of Boom Seattle Seahawks defense up against Tom Brady and the New England Patriots yet again. In Super Bowl 49, this was a back-and-forth game throughout the few quarters. The Patriots would go on to take a 28-24 lead, but there was plenty of time for the Seahawks to mount a game-winning drive. And it looked like that was going to happen as Russell Wilson threw a pass that Jermaine Kearse nearly bobbled, but he somehow caught at the 5-yard line. And the Seahawks were driving down the field. Marshawn Lynch has the ball, but he's tackled right at the 1-yard line. It's 2nd and goal. The Seahawks have the ball. You would think that the obvious pass decision would be to give the ball to Marshawn Lynch. But no, Russell Wilson throws a pass. But then inexplicably, he threw a pick right into the hands of Malcolm Butler, sealing the deal, giving the Patriots their 4th Super Bowl. Final score, New England 28, Seattle 24.
In my opinion, that was one of the best Super Bowls I ever watched, between the Jermaine Kearse catch, which was unbelievable, and then the Malcolm Butler pick when they should have ran the ball. I think it was a lot of controversy. A lot of people believe that the Patriots maybe shouldn't have won that game, but you know they did, just like they always do. They came up clutch at the end, and another win for the Patriots.
Exactly, it was a great game. And now for my next one, believe it or not, this is the only game on my list that doesn't involve the Patriots. This is Super Bowl 43. February 2009, it was the Pittsburgh Steelers against the underdog Arizona Cardinals.
Great game.
And this was another underrated classic. One of the classic highlights of this was right at the end of the 2nd quarter. Kurt Warner drops back to pass. He's in the red zone, but James Harrison intercepts it, and he rumbles 100 yards all the way to score a touchdown, but the Cardinals would not give up. In the 4th quarter, a Kurt Warner long touchdown pass to Larry Fitzgerald would give the Cardinals a 23-20 lead. But the Steelers would not give up yet. They had Big Ben, and he would lead them on a big touchdown drive with a pass to Santonio Holmes, who just barely caught it in the end zone. He kept his feet in bounds, and the Steelers took a 27-3 lead. But the Cardinals, one more chance left. They were trying to drive, but then a fumble, Steelers get the ball back, and that would be the game. Final score, Pittsburgh 27, Arizona 23.
Man, that Santonio Holmes catch has to be one of the most memorable plays in Super Bowl history.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing.
Yeah, the way he got his feet in bounds is unbelievable. And don't forget, Larry Fitzgerald had one of his best postseason games of his career.
Oh, he
in
did.
that game. 2 touchdowns, I think over 100 yards.
Definitely. It's a shame that he never really had another chance to make the Super Bowl after this one.
It is a shame. Such a great player.
Yes. However, for the second one, we actually are not going to go too far back one. We're actually going to talk about the more recent Super Bowl between the Philadelphia Eagles and the New England Patriots. Now, if we looked at this game on paper, this is a game where the Patriots should have wiped the floor with the Philadelphia Eagles. Simply for the fact that the Eagles were starting a backup quarterback in Nick Foles. But that was not the case. The Eagles and the Patriots were going back and forth, scoring touchdown after touchdown. But one of the biggest highlights of that game, I'm sure you remember this one. The Eagles made up this amazing play, the Philly special. Tight end Trey Burton had the ball. He caught the Patriots off guard as he threw to a wide open Nick Foles in the end zone. But the Patriots, of course, knowing them, they would not go down without a fight. As New England took a 33-32 lead, but Philly would score a good touchdown, make it 38-31 on a score from Zach Ertz. But given that Tom Brady had the ball, being down by 5, you would think that New England was going to win this. But no. As Tom Brady dropped back to pass, Derek Barnett forced a fumble that was recovered by Brandon Graham. And as the Eagles picked up 3 more points, their last attempt at a Hail Mary would fall just short as the Philadelphia Eagles somehow shocked the world by winning by a score of 41-33.
Although I hated seeing the Eagles win, it says a lot about Nick Foles. You can say whatever you want about him, being a good or bad quarterback. He got it done when it mattered. He's a Super Bowl MVP, and you can't take that away from him.
Oh, definitely. And anybody who beats Tom Brady, that's a pretty big deal, especially because as we look at my number 1 Super Bowl, and now, of course, this one hits home as I am a hardcore fan of the New York Giants.
As am I.
It is Super Bowl 42. Now, this is another game that on paper, everybody thought that this was going to be a blowout. Patriots, 18-0. Giants, 10-6. They somehow were lucky enough just to make the playoffs. But it was a big defensive struggle throughout the game. And with the Patriots being up 14-10 in the fourth quarter, they had a few chances to seal the deal. Eli Manning almost threw an interception to Asante Samuel, but he dropped it. But on the next play, he dropped back to pass, and he nearly gets sacked. But wait, no, they can't even tackle him. And he throws it deep down the middle. Rodney Harrison, he's covering David Tyree. But no, Tyree jumps up. He catches it. He gruffs the football to his helmet. And it is a first down for the Giants. A few plays later, Eli drops back. He sees a wide open Plaxico Burress in the end zone for a touchdown. 17-14, the Giants take the lead. But you still cannot count out the Patriots.
Nope.
Tom Brady has the ball. He has it, but then he's sacked by Jay Alford. A few plays later, he tries to go for it all. Incomplete. Ball game over, and that is the biggest upset in Super Bowl history. Giants 17, Patriots 14.
And that game really hit home for me being a diehard Giant fan. And also, I feel like that game set the blueprint on how to beat the Patriots. You got to dominate the offensive line of scrimmage, and you got to dominate the defensive line of scrimmage. You got to get pressure on Brady. They did that. They scored when they needed to.
Yep.
Tyree made that big play. That probably is the best play in Super Bowl history, that and then probably San Antonio Holmes.
I would agree.
It was just a great day to be a Giant fan.
I would totally agree with you.
Well, that's about wraps it up here for this segment. Thanks for taking your time, Hank.
No problem. Hopefully we get a game like one of these this Sunday.
I hope so. When we get back, Nick will explain the betting odds for the Super Bowl. And if you and your friends are doing prop bet sheets, we'll go over some tips for that too. Stay tuned. Hello everyone, and you're watching our Super Bowl edition of The Huddle. I'm Nick Troiano, and back here with me is Nick DiMartino for his segment, Nick's Picks. How are we doing today, Nick?
I'm doing all right. I'm feeling winners.
Feeling winners? That's very good.
I can't back it up with anything, but I can just feel it.
That's good. Now, this is going to be a very interesting Super Bowl as these two teams faced off in 2001, and a lot has changed. One team even moved to L.A.
Yeah, a lot, because it's 18 years in the world of football. That's like 300 years. I mean, the Rams have changed a lot in 3 years.
Yeah, a lot has changed. And looking back, I feel like I definitely would have put my money on the Rams. I mean, they had Kurt Warner, Isaac Bruce, all those guys. Plus, Tom Brady wasn't really the Tom Brady we know today. But this game is tricky.
It's a good thing you didn't, by the way.
Yeah, I don't see a clear favorite when I look at these two teams. So let's start off with the over and under.
The over-under is 57. I would say take the over because when you take the over, you're alive the entire time, and it's easier to just root for a shootout.
That is true.
And, so I think it's better to just take the over.
I agree. So instead of just asking who we think is going to win the game, we're going to do something a little different. I have here a prop bet sheet, so let's go over a few of them.
Yeah. So one of them is an Adam Levine question. I'm still kind of mad Cardi B isn't performing.
But at least we have Travis Scott.
Yes, that's a fair point.
I gotta love that. Okay, well, I guess we'll start off with that one. The big question, will Adam Levine wear a hat when Maroon 5 performs?
No, because he's not bald.
Not
Why
bald.
would he?
Not bald. I have another question. What do you think the outcome of the coin toss would be?
Tails, because tails never fails.
Tails never fails. How many yards do you think Tom Brady will throw for?
Is this an over-under question?
Over or under? 291 and a half.
291 and a half. I take the under.
You take the under?
Yeah, because he's old. He's like over 40.
And then probably the most important question, who do you think is going to win Super Bowl 53?
Against the spread or not against the spread?
Not against the spread. Just pick them.
The Patriots.
Patriots. It's hard to bet against Brady, right?
Yeah, and I also don't want them to win, and they always end up winning.
That's true.
Outside of last year, and the Rams aren't what the Eagles were last year, so I would say I would take New England.
Well, there you have it. Bet on the Patriots. Maybe you'll win some money.
Maybe we will. Honestly, I don't even take my own advice most of the time.
Then what's the point of doing the segment?
It's fun.
It is fun. Fair enough. Well, looks like we're out of time. Thanks for the advice, Nick. And when we get back, Hank will join me again as we reveal our picks for the Super Bowl Sunday winner. Stay tuned.
Like a light, 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 like a light. Yeah, Pastor Dawson sell, he sending texts, ain't sending kites. Yeah, he say keep that on like I say, this type. Yeah, this is absolute.
Welcome back to the Huddle. Once again, I'm Nick Troiano.
And I'm Hank Dichter.
Thanks for tuning in to our Super Bowl special edition. Now it's time for our Super Bowl Sunday picks. We know who Nick has, but who do you have taking the Lombardi Trophy, Hank?
Well, this is a really tough call. I think the Rams are a very stacked team, a great defense that can put a lot of pressure on Tom Brady, and they got a pretty good offensive game too with Todd Gurley and Jared Goff. But at the end of the day, I got to go with the experience. Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time, and Bill Belichick is the greatest coach of all time. In fact, he's going to come up with a great defensive scheme to stop them. I got to give it to New England, man.
I agree. I think the Rams are a great team, and they will be back to Super Bowl very soon. But I've bet against Brady and the Patriots before. I'm not doing it again. Simple for me, Pats by 10. Now, besides the wings, what are you looking for the most on Super Bowl Sunday, Hank?
Well, that's a good question, but I'm going to look forward to watching it with a lot of good friends. I'm just looking forward to the suspense and the drama that a lot of the Super Bowls I've watched have.
I agree, me too. Well, it looks like we're out of time. Thank you for joining us. I would like to thank our production staff and crew for another great show. Once again, I'm Nick Troiano.
And I'm Hank Dichter.
Thanks for tuning in to our Super Bowl edition of The Huddle.